Interviewing. All the fun of an awkward first date without the added pressure of would it be weird if I give them a fist bump at the end of this?
Next level coaching.
Hey, I'm Jim Kelly with Next Level Coaching, and I'm here to bring your career to the next level. Take this time to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, help this channel grow. I appreciate you for that. So, today we're going to talk about 3 common interview questions. These are questions that have been asked for many, many years and will probably be asked for many, many years to come. These are not questions I particularly ask, but I've heard them asked many, many times, both from partners I've been interviewing with and people I've been interviewing with myself. So, these are questions that get asked all the time. I'm going to give you some strategies on how to answer them so that you can make the best out of the balls being tossed to you. All right. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So, the first question we're going to talk about is why are you looking to leave your current role? This is a question that's been asked since the dawn of time and will be asked probably forevermore. Now, we can't give the real answer of "Hey, it must be the money." As much as Nelly inspires us every day, that is not the answer we want to go with. You also don't want to go with I'm trying to leave a toxic manager. I don't like my micromanager, and my upper management doesn't have a clue what they're doing. Those are the might be the honest answers of why you're trying to leave your role, but unfortunately, we are not in a society where we get to give honest answers on interview questions. I would love to be in that society, but it's not where we're at. So the things we want to focus on are positives. We always want to be using the positives in interviewing when we can. So, it, does this give you growth opportunity? That might be the strategy you want to go with. Are there great benefits to working for this particular firm? You've heard they have good vacation time. You've heard that the culture there is fantastic, or it's your dream company. You've always wanted to work there, and you've just been looking for an opportunity. Those are all things you can point at in that particular juncture. So there's no bad way to get to that answer, but we always want to be focusing on the positive on why we're looking to leave our role. You know, in my organization, I'm in a bottleneck, and there's no room for career advancement in my department, and I would have to take a lateral move and wait a couple of years to be able to actually move up the corporate ladder. So that's why I'm looking externally. That's a completely valid reason, because your management's been in that role for years and they're not trying to move. That happens in a lot of organizations. It's very understandable. So we want to look at the positive, always focus on the positive and push that agenda forward, because it's going to make you seem more favorable to the people who are looking to hire you. Now, the why are you looking to leave your role often leads to, well, why do you want to work for XYZ Corp? Fill in XYZ Corp with whatever name of the company is. It can be Joe's Chicken Shack for all I care. It doesn't matter where you want to work, but whatever company you're interviewing for is going to put their name in there. So again, we want to focus on the positives. Hey, this role's going to pay me more. That's positive for you, not for them. That's the negative for them. They want to pay you less. But I digress. Why do we want to work for this firm? So this is where we step back, and before you go to interview anywhere, you have to do your research. You have to look into the company. You should know that Joe's Chicken Shack was started in 1947. Because it's important to know that this isn't a fly by night organization unless you're looking to get into a startup company. And that is a completely different animal. If you're looking to join a startup company, well, my ambitions are to you know, help a company grow from day one because I want to prove that I can do that. That's a different animal than you're going with an established corporation. You're going with an established corporation. Well, I see your company's had the solid growth for the last 10 years. You know, mindful of the market because you took a dip in the market where everybody else took a dip in the market, but you've been steady on the increase, and that's a firm I can see myself working for. I've heard about the culture, and I like X, Y, and Z about the culture. I know John Q. Sample, who works here, and he talks very highly about the firm. I know Susie Q as well, and she has nothing but praises to sing about the firm. These are good things we can point out. And it also, if you're pointing out, I know so and so and so and so at the firm, well, multiple people at the firm know you. Now that manager might go and talk to that person and go, hey, do you know Johnny Come Lately who's was interviewing with me? I do know Johnny Come Lately. Fantastic. Could you tell me about him? And now you're even more in that manager's mind. And they know other people at the firm know you and respect you, so they're more likely to hire you. Because as a hiring manager, known quantities are always better than unknown quantities. So that is why networking is always important, and I'm always going to talk about it. So make sure we're networking as much as we can so that we can have those conversations with people. But again, back to the topic, we want to make sure we know about that firm going in so we're prepared for this question because it is a super common question. And this is that lob right over the plate. You got to knock this one out of the park. The next one is one of the ones I consider interesting because it makes you actually have to think outside the box a little bit here. And that is, how would your coworkers or your boss, depending on how they ask the question, describe you? So why you have to be think a little bit outside the box is because you have to look at yourself from an outside angle. And not everyone is comfortable doing that. Not everyone, has that insight of, oh, everyone thinks this about me. Um, so if you are not that person and you don't have that lens, you need to be having conversations with people who you've worked with, who you trust, and go, how would you describe me as a coworker? So that you are prepared for this question because it is going to come up. So being prepared for it means you're going to knock it out of the park. And, if they're telling you a lot of bad things, you've got some things you need to work on then, don't you? And feedback is a blessing. So be thankful for the feedback that they're giving you. But, you have to take that step outside of yourself and look, into how you are. So for me, for instance, I would go, well, my coworkers would describe me as very hardworking, very intelligent, with a lens into how to get things done. They would describe me as a servant manager who's always tried to elevate his employees. They would describe me as the person who's going to come up with the solution for the problems and the person who's going to speak truth to power. That is exactly how they would describe me. Now, that works for me. You are not me, so please don't steal my answer. But you have to look into this question externally, and you have to either step back and really examine yourself from the outside or get somebody to help you out with this answer. And, asking multiple people is going to be a good thing for you so that you have a good objective view and a well-rounded view of how you are. And yes, you might want to, do a little coloring around the edges to make yourself seem more appealing to the company. But all in all, you want to be as honest as possible because if they hire you and you say, well, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then you're not the greatest thing since sliced bread, you've just already started your relationship off on a bad foot. So make sure you're being honest. You know, you can accentuate a little bit, exaggerate a little bit, but keep it within the realm of how you are. If you say you are the greatest, excel at Excel, and all you can do is basic, you know, mathematics in it, then you really oversold yourself, and that's a problem. So today we went over a couple common interview questions, gave you a groundwork for how to work through them. And there are a million other interview questions, and we will go over a bunch of them over time. I want to make sure I leave myself plenty of things to keep talking about in the future. So I'm not going to go over all of them at once. But, you know, if you have questions you would like to have answered, feel free to sound off with those in the comments. And, I will reply to them either in the comments, or I will let you know I will have a video about that question coming out in the near future. So please put your questions in the comments, and I will get back to them. I will not leave you high and dry on them. All right. With that being said, you have a great start to your week. I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.